Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the Clash at Daytona for the Blazing Pedals Arca Series. Right now, we are going at qualifying here. I have Terry Forrester in the booth. Terry, you want to say hi?
Hey Brett, it is Foster. You was right the
Oh,
first
darn it.
time. It's our and it's also evening, buddy. Come on. I don't know. You've been sleeping all day or what? It's already evening here where I'm at. So yeah, man. Getting this clash underway with the Blazing Pedals League, TRJ Karting, man. I'm excited for this season to start. I'm excited for next week. I'll be able to get in the car and right now, Brett, we're already in the middle of qualifying. Looks like time and scoring looks like Fred Thompson's on the pole at the moment.
Yeah, that 46 machine on the provisional pole for this race as of right now, as Josh Rutherford just takes that away from him, I believe, on his second lap. So seems like maybe people will have the advantage on their second lap, as now Jeff Fishker to the top. So
Fisher, like the
Fisher,
fish, Fisher, yeah. So excuse Brett, everybody. He's new to the league. I'm going to help him with the names as needed to. So we'll get through this.
yep, it's going to be a fun learning experience for all of us, especially me in the booth here. So bear with me for this first one, and it's gonna be a fun season. I'm definitely looking forward to here.
It can only get better, right?
Exactly, it's only uphill from here. As now we look at Josh Sexton in the 51 machine out here for his completed his first time lap. We'll see where he can slot on in on his time lap here. Pretty nice chrome and black machine out here for that.
Tell you what, MFRD design, Michael Falk Racing design, he's got a lot of cars and blazing pedals. And anybody out there watching this that's into iRacing, hit up Michael Falk Racing Design. You can find him on Facebook. He will set you up with an awesome looking car, whatever you want, and you don't pay till it's set the way you want it.
That is awesome. I'm sure we'll see a lot of that MF logo out here tonight. So I definitely look forward to it, as that car is a sweet looking one, and can't wait to see the rest of the cars as Josh Sexton goes on by. And I don't believe it improves his time, so he will stay P10 as they sit right now. As we wrap up qualifying, so it looks like Brad Collins should take the quick time award here for the race number
McAvoy's
one of the
still
Clash.
on
So,
track.
folks, there are actually two races here tonight. This is to get into the main event that's coming a little bit later in this afternoon. So, this is only a 20 lap pre race to try and get into the big dance here later tonight.
I'm listening to Mark Arthur right now, trying to give the rules. Mark Arthur is the league owner and lead admin. He's kind of giving the guys the rules of the race and kind of for the season also that we'll get into later on probably.
Gotcha, Terry. And while we got a second, we will go through the starting order for this first race of two tonight. We have Brad Collins in the 22 on the pole, starting to his outside. We got Kyle
Wellman.
Wellman. It's going to be a long night here, Terry. In the 42,
All right.
Mark Arthur in the 12 will start P3 to his outside. Amanda Sherman in the 8. And then rounding out our top 5 in the 06 is Jeff Fisher.
Number 6, Joe Alberic. I ain't sure on his name. He just started with the league this season, so he'll be starting there on sixth place in 83. Corey Rutherford in the 5 be starting 7th. Fred Thompson in the 46, the old man in the group, be starting 8th. Josh Rutherford in the 64 starting ninth. Nick Akie, excuse me, in the nine. He's rounding out your top 10. Then you got Josh Sexton, Randy McAvoy, Jason Powell, Corey Sherman, and Christopher Lagu, whatever. I'm going to just butcher his name because he's my buddy. And well, anybody knows Chris from our past seasons, Chris was an announcer for the Turn 3 Racing Network. Him and Rick decided to step aside, and now they're in here racing.
Yep, so that is this starting order for this race number one. 20 laps here. And these Arca cars here, Terry, very interesting at Daytona. Can't push at all, so the drivers will have to keep that in mind and use the air to push the cars. So should be a fun one to watch as they try and keep these things facing the right direction for all 20 laps.
Yeah, most definitely, Brett. I mean, you got that little bit of an air bubble in between the rear bumper and the front bumper. That's pretty much all you get to use to push that car in front of you. You touch these things in any way, you're going around in circles, and that's not the way you want to do a race here at Daytona or Talladega. I got my eyes back here on the backside watching two teammates of Sherman and the three car. I don't know why it says 77 on the results, but he's not in the 77.
Yeah, we will have to see when people decide to go because, like we said, a shorter race here as the pace car is off down pit road. We'll wait for the 22 of Brad Collins to fire on off. He does, and we are green flag racing for the first time this season for the Blazing Pedal Arca Series.
One of the rules we do have, Brett, is you cannot change lanes. You can't cross that start finish line. If you do, that will enforce a penalty, and I believe that is a drive-through penalty.
All right, so good to know with especially the teammate teamwork here at Super Speedway. So you got to wait till after the start finish line to move on through and work with that partner if you got to get in the same lane. So we will have to keep an eye on that, especially further back in the pack as if there's any sort of checkups or anything like that. Do you know if they have to wait till the green flag to restart? As I think we already got one car in the wall, it looks like.
So we go on the leader. That's the way we've always done it, and I still believe that's the way we do it now.
All right, good to know. So restarts are on leader. But yep, that was the 83 machine of Joe Alberco in the wall early and is losing the draft. So he's hoping for a yellow flag. And that's so easy to do in these things, especially with how they are skewed. The bodies kind of hang off to the right side on the cars. So if you get anywhere close to that wall, I call it the wall glue of iRacing in these Arca cars. That as soon as you get a little piece of the wall with the right side, your whole car is sucked in the wall, stuck in there, and it's going to take a lot of effort to get that car unstuck and unglued from the wall.
It just slows you down so daggone much too. And like you just said, we just seen Joe lose the draft. So unfortunate for him, unless something happens, he's going to be getting lapped here out after a bit, I would imagine.
Yep, as I would agree with that. It looks like the inside line, oh, trouble. 42 is around, maybe got some contact that you can't do in this thing, and we are under the first yellow already.
Now, one thing with this race and the next race, they all have one quick repair. So the 42 of Wellman, the 46 of Thompson can use their quick repairs now, so they can stay in there. Now, this just gave the 83 of Joe, gave him a hell of an advantage, not advantage, but opportunity to catch back up with this pack.
Yeah, as we're trying to rewatch a replay here, we got to it where the 42 was already sideways, but the 46 machine of Fred Thompson up in the air and on the nose of another car. So a pretty wild wreck already early in this one. We'll try and watch one more time, see what may have happened as we look here. And yeah, maybe the 46 just got to the back bumper, just a scotch of that 46, and that was enough to send him on around. That 8 car just getting through of Amanda. The 5 car as well with some slight damage, but some hard hits for at least 3 cars early.
And I am sorry, Brett, I did not catch if anybody claimed that or not. So we'll see.
I believe the 46 of Fred Thompson did claim that.
Okay.
As we go back up to the front of the field here under yellow, Brad Collins in the 22, still the race leader. I was just about to say right before that yellow, Terry, it seemed like that inside line was forming up nicely and the place to be, and especially with that yellow coming on the high side. I think that reigns true now. So we'll have to see if anyone's brave enough to jump back up to the top or if they maybe ride around for at least a few laps here with an early yellow.
Yeah, so Fred Thompson was given an EOL penalty. He is the one that caused the caution. So back of the field for Fred Thompson. I hope he gets in there and gets that car fixed and gets back out there.
Yep, I hope so as well. As he is down pit road, we'll try and see if he uses that fast repair. It looks like he maybe had to tow that thing as it's still sitting heavily damaged down on pit road. So looks like the tow truck probably bringing that car back to the pits, and hopefully he has that fast repair checked and doesn't have to wait for the damage to be repaired on that thing.
Yeah, it just sucks. It just takes so long for get a tow truck around these places.
Yeah, especially the big 2.5 mile super speedway of Daytona.
All right, everybody's starting to gather back up here around this pace car finally.
Yeah, and I believe the lights should be extinguished on the pace car this time by, and they can double it on up, but we will see once the pace car hits the line here.
And another thing with our league we like to do, leader always has lane choice, inside, outside, wherever he feels comfortable. So we'll see what Brad Collins decides to do here right before we go green.
Yep, it seems like he's picking that inside line as the lights are extinguished on that pace car. A 46 able to just get out there in front of the pace car and prevent from going another lap down. Looks like he is just one lap down. So Brad Collins will choose the inside. That will put Mark Arthur to his outside for this restart. Looks like Mark's racing all the way from, it looks like Brad, our leader right now, is racing all the way from Alaska. So pretty cool stuff from the 22 camp.
Yep. He does live in Alaska. Brad Collins, part of that Speed Mafia I was talking to you about earlier. They got an awesome team over there. There's a bunch of good guys that we like to race with every week.
That is cool. Yeah, up here in Michigan, it's been pretty cold. Actually, it was a really nice day today, but last couple of days before that, pretty cold. So I couldn't imagine how cold it is up there in Alaska.
Well, I'm just south of you. I'm down here in Ohio, so it was a real nice day today.
Yeah, I really wanted to get out and do some stuff, but I had to, of course, watch the Daytona 500 and all that good stuff that went with it as we're come out of turn 4 here. Lights are extinguished on the pace car. We'll be making the hard left-hand turn down pit road. And the restart will fall in the hands of the 22 once again. We'll have to see when he's ready. Try and work with that 06. Get a good run and see if they can single file on out as they all jump on the loud pedal. And we are back racing for race number 1 of tonight. The high side actually has a huge run right now and 2 cars able to clear it to that low side. So Amanda Sherman now leading the bottom with Mark Arthur leading the top side.
And this is Amanda's second full season with Blazing Pedals. She started last season with us. It just has grown as a hell of a driver this last season.
That is awesome, as she's repping a very recognizable car as of right now, the iconic Budweiser Dale Earnhardt Jr. car with her own twist on it, like in that the logos and the sponsors on that thing is a little bit of dancing around going in the tribal. Looks like the setup's a little bit loose through there.
So Mark Arthur does all of our setups. Yes, he is racing his own setup. Yes, that's a disadvantage to a point. If you understand Mark, he's not going to get out here and flex. And there may be times you might see Mark just pull off the track, just so he ain't racing and beating everybody's butt with his own setup.
All right, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, because the fixed setups on iRacing are very hit or miss here. They are built for the general consensus, but that can mean they can be super dump trucks. Sometimes they get off the mark and they can be super loose, but usually they're pretty slow, pretty tough on the right front. So when you can get some custom setups that drive a little bit better and make the racing a whole lot better, it's always a good thing. So that's pretty cool from you guys here.
Looks like both these lines are running about the same pace there, Brett. Nobody making no big uh, big silly moves trying to make it 3 wide, but I don't think they can go 3 wide until halfway through. So another lap or so, I think they can go 3 wide.
Yeah, I have a feeling we won't see 3 wide till about 5 for sure, 3 to go. So that's when I would wait to go. And what I've been doing this week when I've been doing some Daytona racing myself is wait until about the last 3 laps, because you don't want to force the issue too early, cause an incident, get caught up in something without your doing before when it really needs to. As it looks like about 4 cars in each line really trying to push, and that means that the lines are pretty even, as now we get maybe 5 to both lines, as we got the 5 car up top and maybe the 9 car down low, as a little bit of a bump to Mark Arthur somehow keeps that car straight, but that forces it 3 wide as the 06 slots on in to the second car in the outside line.
Well, Brett, as everybody knows, everybody at races and pays attention to racing, you might be in the last spot coming off turn 4, but you can still win this race in that spot.
Exactly. As long as you're out on track and not a lap down, you have a chance to win any super speedway race. You never know what's going to unfold in front of you, behind you, or even with you. Things happen so quick that you barely have time to react.
Now, all of us, we ain't raced together since, second week in December. So everybody's still getting their butt, in their seats, trying to fill everybody out again like we had to do last season. I think as the season goes on, we're going to see a lot better racing in these cars, I hope. Everybody got to feel everybody out, see what's going on again.
Yep, exactly. Get their bearings underneath them, see what they got. And I think these are a new car for this season, so everyone's got to get used to these Arca cars for this 32-week season. So not only a little bit of a break, but change of car. And, of course, changing cars means you got to change your driving style to adapt to it.
Exactly. So how we get to the Arca car this season, for anybody wanting to know, at the end of this, during the off season, we had our meetings and we all voted on what car to take. Yes, there's guys that wanted the Xfinity and guys wanted the Arca. So, and Arca won out over everything. So that's why we are in the Arca car this season.
Yeah, and the Arca car is one of the more underrated cars in iRacing. It's utilized a good bit by leagues like Blazing Pedals here, because the official series has no yellow flag. So if you get in an incident, no yellow flags coming out for you. So that's the one frustrating part of that officially. But in hosted, especially with a fixed setup that's custom, these cars can be a lot of fun because they have a unique tire model with them that any sort of slippage, any sort of overheating, they start falling off on that corner very quickly. So you got to not only be consistent with these cars, but also very disciplined with them. As that time by, we clicked over to 7 laps to go as we see cars continue to move around in their respective lanes. You can tell the energy is slowly building on up here, and we'll see if when the pin is pulled, let's say on the grenade, probably within the 5 to go mark is my bet.
Josh Sexton did take the lead away from Mark Arthur just for a minute. Now he's pulling back away from Mark Arthur again. He's got Amanda Sherman in that number 8, trying to help him get around his track. I'm not definite on how many of these people, racers in this, transfer to the next race. I will say I believe I know there is 3 anyway. And I don't believe Mark Arthur will race in the main. So that's yet to be seen.
Okay, so at least 3 cars going to the main from this, so everyone will be going for those 3 positions. So we'll have to keep that in mind as the A car almost looked to the inside of the 51. That'll give the momentum back to the top side, as we did see 1 car in the wall later. Last lap there, I believe that was a 71 car, but keeps it going the right direction, but has lost the draft, so he may be out of contention if these guys don't wad him on up. But Mark Arthur and the 06, as the 06 now goes to the top side, leaving Mark Arthur out to dry till the 51. Now move the momentum back to the top side. As Jeff Fisher leads the top side, Mark Arthur leads the bottom side as we get 5 to go.
At 51, a Sexton, as I say, could get a little closer, but I think where everybody's sat right now is just fine.
Yeah, as we'll look at the 51
We'll see some stuff happening here real shortly.
Yeah, I think if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen here soon. As we get the 46 down on the apron, gets it back up in line, but there's more cars on the top side, so I gotta believe this top side's getting ready to make a charge, as there's only about 3 cars really pushing that inside right at this moment, whereas the top side has 6 plus at least, as 1 car looking to make it 3 wide, thinks better of it as of right now.
Although Fred Thompson is a lap down, he could get up there and help somebody if he needs to.
Yeah.
He could run up there on that 8 a little more and push the 8 up into the 51 there of Josh Sexton.
Yeah, he could be the ultimate teammate to someone, as he isn't on the lead lap, so that means he could push someone to the win, and that person does not need to worry about them getting past us. We get another car in the wall glue and out of the draft. I believe that's the 7 car. As we get 3 laps to go. And still Mark Arthur leading that bottom side. Jeffrey Fisher in the 06 leading the top side.
See if Jeffrey Fisher stays in his spot, if he jumps down in front of Mark Arthur.
Yeah, the ultimate spot to be is that leader car on the last lap on the top side, because they get such a big run down the super stretch that you should be able to clear that inside line, then jump down there and block that for the last lap, as we get popsicle sticks up in the air as we pass the flag stand. 2 laps to go here. I was going to say, if you're the likes of the 9 car, maybe the 77, I think you got to go try and get that 3rd lane rolling if you can. If you're that far back, you got to try anything you can and see who will go with you.
Yeah, definitely time to do something you wouldn't want to do at mid-race.
Oh, contact.
But the flag's already been out, so that doesn't count. Oh! Oh, 51. Oh, man.
An incident after the yellow flag as well, so not sure what happened there, but it looked like the 64 may have gotten turned, and that's what caused that initial wreck with the 77/3 car to his outside. Just gets his right rear. That turns him head on into the wall. collects the 9 car as well as the 83 just shoots through. Does get a little bit of contact, but as we'll go look a little bit further on up and see what may have happened a little bit later. Oh man, maybe the 51 got a little bit distracted by the yellow flag or something, kind of drifted up into the middle, and the 06 was still to his outside, and they both get a good chunk of the wall.
Mark has decided to see if he's going to end this race as a yellow flag, or if he's going to extend a GWC on this or not.
Okay, so we will have to see if we do get a green-white checkered or not, as the checkered flag is out here. So
okay, there we go.
I believe we will end under yellow here. So Mark Arthur and that Barbie machine takes home the win for this one. You said he probably won't be racing in the main show, so we'll have to see, but we will have to try and talk to him here in a minute.
Okay, so if Mark doesn't go in, Josh Sexton, Amanda Sherman, Brad Collins, I want to say, and I ain't going to swear on this yet, should be making the main.
All right, so at least those 3 should make it into the main, but we will keep you folks updated at home as soon as we find out from race control.
All right, so Josh Sexton at a 51, 22 of Brad Collins, and a number 8 of Amanda Sherman do move on to the main, which we'll have that for you all here in just shortly when we get out of this to get transferred over to the other side.
Yep, so we will get rolling on that here, but what do you say we try and talk to maybe the top 3 here and see what they have to say?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just go ahead and pull in Sexton, Collins, and Amanda Sherman, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And I'll however you want to do it. I don't care.
Alrighty. We will go try and find
So Collins is in Speed Mafia. Sherman is in TA Motorsports. And who was the other one?
So we got Amanda Sherman, Brad Collins, and Josh Sexton.
Yeah, there you go. Josh Sexton, I don't see him in there.
Yeah, it looks like our second place finisher. Yeah, I don't see him as well.
Well, just pull Amanda and Collins and then.
All right, so we will talk to our 4th place finisher, but the last car to transfer into the show, Brad Collins. So we'll try and talk to the 22. Brad, you got a copy? It's Brett and Terry in the booth.
Yeah, I got you, bud.
All righty, so you finished 4th, but that's enough to make it into the big dance here in a little bit. How's that 22 car feeling? You qualified on the pole, racing up front the whole time, and able to get it done.
Oh, I'm feeling great. I just got myself in a bind on that after that first caution, and wasn't able to move back up to where I needed to. It's tough getting around each other.
Yeah, it does seem like these cars are pretty light. I saw a lot of movement down the super stretch or the back stretch, and a lot of movement in the tribal. Is this setup pretty loose out here tonight?
No, the setup's actually pretty good. I'm not having any issues with the setup in general. It's just you get bottlenecked with all the other cars in front of you because you can't really push them.
Gotcha. I was going to ask you, how is how's the closing rate and how's all that? Because, yeah, you cannot make contact with these cars because if you do, it usually turns the car that you're pushing. So what's kind of the mindset there? Just try and get a run and just almost get to their bumper and use the air around you to push them?
Yeah, pretty much that's what you got to do. You just got to be careful on that bottom line because it'll check up if people can't keep their momentum going.
Alrighty, Bradwell.
Hey, Brad, it's Terry. Awesome job, man, out there. What happened there at the end?
Honestly, I have no clue. The caution came out, and then the 51, the 06 got together on the yellow, and I was like, holy crap, man, I'm not sure I made it in because I figured I was fourth, but the next thing I know, I'm in.
Well, good job, man. Anybody on that car you want to thank tonight?
Oh, yeah, American Legion, of course, obviously my team, Speed Mafia, and MF Racing Designs because it's a sweet-looking car.
It is, brother. Well, hey, congratulations. Good luck in the main there, bud.
Yep, thank y'all, and also thank y'all for the broadcast and everything.
Yep.
Alrighty, so that was Brad Collins there, our fourth place finisher. Now we'll try and talk to...
You have to pull her back up in there. She moved herself.
Yep. Yeah, we'll try and talk to the third place finisher, but the second to transfer on in, Amanda Sherman. Amanda, do you got a copy? It's Brett and Terry in the booth here.
I gotcha. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you loud and clear. So, you're making it to the clash here, advancing on through. How was that 8 car? Looked like you had some pretty good speed in her tonight.
She felt great. She got a little squirrely when we got in a pack. We had cars side drafting on the outside. It definitely pulls you away from the car in front of you. But other than that, she felt great. Fun to be back in an Arca car. So, feeling pretty good about tonight.
Yeah, any big tips or tricks that you found early in this race, being in this first race, able to learn any tips or tricks here before the main show that you could use to your advantage?
Hugging that yellow line, just stay as close to it as possible, and as soon as I see him trying to side draft, just get the hell away from him. Other than that, just holding a steady line and keeping my eyes peeled for the guys around me.
Well, Amanda, hey, it's Terry. Awesome job, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad you got up there. My question is, moving on, you got Aaron, a teammate, and I believe that's the only one you got out there, don't you? Or Philip, maybe?
Philip's in here, and Aaron and I have always drafted well together.
Right.
And Phillips ran with us a few times last season as an honorary member, and now he's an actual TNA member this year. So the three of us draft pretty darn well together. So I'm super excited to try to link up with them.
10-4. Well, congratulations on that. Getting into the big show. Anybody on your car you want to thank?
Oh, obviously Savage Edge, everybody here at TNA Motorsports, TRJKarting.com. Gotta love Tim and them over there. Brett, super excited to have you on. Mark, definitely racing with us, which is awesome. So, just everybody who watches and tunes in as well.
All right.
Oh, and Michael Falk Racing Designs. If you need a paint, check out MF Racing Designs.
You didn't have to mention him, but that's good. I know.
He actually painted this car for me for the other league, so love it. Love Michael's paints.
Well, good luck in the next round, girl.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Brett, I bet we ought to get out of this one and move into the next one.
Yep, we will go to the next one, see what that is looking like. So we will be right back in a few minutes.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, and we are here at Daytona. Took a quick little siesta, and now we're under the lights. I think
So now we're back in here in the main, Brett. A lot of different names we're going to be looking at now. So we had the 3 transfer over from the feature, or what I guess it's called a feature. I don't know what else it's called. But now we got all kinds of people in this race. We got 20 guys and girl. Then both of you in. Hold on a minute. Mark just texted me.
No problem. Yeah, we got 19 cars taking a lap. We got 20 cars in here for the main event here. 50 laps this time, and there's some money up for grab for the Clash. So, pretty cool stuff here. There's Matt Hockathorn in the 84 machine. Quickest time in practice, but that can mean a little bit for this thing. Could be taped on out, but all comes down to making the right moves when it counts for this main event at a super speedway. So we saw some action, saw some wrecks. I'm sure we'll see some more of those. Once again, one fast repair for all these drivers in this race, so they will keep that in the back of the mind. If your favorite driver does get involved in a wreck, they still got one more car to use on up if needed, but you definitely don't want to use that fast repair too early. Definitely not in the first half of the race if you can help it.
Yeah, you definitely want to. You don't want to use that fast repair. That's a 50 lap race. I think they have to make a fuel stop in this also, Brett. And I was just talking to Mark. He's letting a couple of the guys just get their legs under him for a little bit. Then he's going to advance the session. They're going to do a single qualify. The three that came into this race from the last race will not qualify. They have to actually start in the back of this race.
Gotcha. So the three that transferred on in, the likes of Brad Collins, Amanda Sherman, and Josh Sexton will all have to start at the tail end of this field as they did transfer in. So we will have to see what they learned in that first race, see how quickly they can get to the front. As the rest of these guys, Terry, why don't you tell us how they got in this main event without having to race their way in?
Okay, so Matt Gruenberg in a 54 car, he won our championship last season, but that's one of the reasons in here. So you get in with wins, poles, wins and poles, I believe, is how you get in here. So everybody in here has had a win or a pole of some sort. Then again, we just had the last three of Sherman, Sexton, and Collins race their way in.
Alrighty, so that's how the rest of these drivers got locked on in here, folks.
Now, please don't ask me what races they won. Actually, I kind of know which ones they got won and polled, but yeah.
Well, we'll ask the important questions. Any super speedway ringers? Is there a certain driver that's usually always towards the front of the field in these super speedway races?
So I don't want to be biased, but I have to be since you asked that question. The 44 of Aaron Bockover, he and I are on the same team with TNA Motorsports. I love his speedway racing. He's very cautious, but he's fast doing it. Jamie Walker is another one. Rick Thompson, Dalton Kilroy. But I tell you what, Brett, just look at the names. All these that we have in here are just great. But if I had to pick something, it'd be the 44, the 41, the 88, that type of guys.
Alrighty, so we got 3 cars to keep an eye on, specifically that 44 machine. So it sounds like we will be going to qualifying in about 10 minutes. So folks at home watching, be sure to grab a snack, grab a drink, use that bathroom here, because going to be some action-packed, door-to-door racing at close to 200 miles an hour when we drop this green flag here. But we'll talk a little bit about the race info here for the Clash at Daytona. So looking like a nice cool night, 76 degrees, 59% humidity at the 2.5 mile super speedway of Daytona. Got to watch a whole bunch of real life racing there today. Now we get to top it on off with this race. Also, Blazing Pedals is presented by the following. Be sure to check out TRJ Karting, MF Racing Design, Salvage Edge Recycling, and Butt Kicker. If you're interested to find out more about that TRJ Karting, be sure to check out that link in the description there. So
practice rack right there. That's good. Get it out of the way during practice.
Yep, that is very true. If you're wreck it, you might as well do it early. Do it in practice. See where the limits of these cars are at, as we'll try and maybe look at a couple cars out on track. There isn't too many, but we got a few cars out here.
I don't know why it's showing, but the number 6 car on track says number 6, but he's showing number 5. He's actually number 6, Derek Paulson. I don't know what you're seeing, Brett.
Yep.
I see a 5, or I see a 6 on the car, but a 5 on my screen.
Yep, I see that as well.
Okay.
And maybe that's because it's the hosted session versus the actual league. Because in the leagues, you can assign people numbers, whereas hosted, you come in as your preferred car number. So
that could be because Jeffrey Fisher is in the 06. So that may have played something with it. I don't know.
Yeah. But I assume everyone will be in the right numbers, right graphics for next week as everyone gets settled on it, including myself. I'm still getting my feet wet with all this, getting a hang of it. So
Yep, you'll learn. You'll learn, buddy. You'll learn who we are and all that good stuff.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Sam Baumgarten, he's showing in the 53, and it's supposed to be the 57.
As we do got some comments in the YouTube chat lands here. We got some people cheering on the likes of Brad Collins. Got a few Amanda fans out here, Amanda Sherman fans. Someone says the 8-car's going to win this thing, so.
I tell you what, she has won Talladega before. In a different league that she was in.
So we will have to keep that in the back of mind as we do look at the 8-car here out on practice, working with that 10-car.
I'm going to go around and talk to the drivers, Brett. I'm back a little bit.
Alrighty. So Terry will do a little bit of walkthrough practice here, maybe come back, relay some good information, but we will stay up here in the booth, keep you entertained. As be sure to comment your favorite driver. You guys are doing an awesome job so far doing it. We'll be sure to check them out on track when we can. And tell us who you think's going to get this thing done. Like I said, got a lot of Amanda Sherman votes so far. As I don't know why. I'll take the '09 car here tonight of James Miller. That's going to be my pick when Terry comes back. We'll ask him. Well, he's going with the 44 of. So I'm going to go with pick the '09. Hopefully it's not a broadcaster curse. We will have to see about that. But looks like we got a pack of 3 now down the backstretch.
It's like Amanda Sherman, man, trying to get all the laps she can, in this practice session.
Yep, trying to relearn the new track with some new conditions. Under the lights, track's probably a little bit cooler. Maybe some more grips with this setup. We will have to see as we see 3 cars dive down pit road and try out that green flag pit stop. That would be very key if they don't have a yellow and have to come in during green flag. It's going to be very tricky to hit pit road without speeding.
You got the hiccups.
Myself?
Yes.
I do not. I am moving.
Okay.
I don't know if you maybe hear my chair. Hopefully not.
No, I thought you sounded like you had the hiccups. That's all right. Drinking's encouraged here.
Yeah.
So anybody out in YouTube land, or I don't know what we're all broadcasting on, but I do not have it pulled up. So if you're asking questions of me, Brett's going to have to relay them because I don't know who's asking what.
Yep. Yeah. If you have a question for Terry, use the hashtag #AskTerry out there, and be sure to leave your comment, and I'll be for sure to relay the message over to him. As I'm getting pumped up, Terry, I think hopefully we'll be clicking over from practice here any second.
Yeah, I think he said it in a couple minutes here. He's going to fast forward this thing. We get the qualifying underway and get this 50-lap race underway and see what these guys getting gal has under them.
Yeah, I believe we'll see a lot of people probably single file on out, take care of their cars for at least the first half of this race. But then the second half, especially with 10 to go, time to start making the power moves, taking the gloves off, and it's about go time.
So I'm sitting here going through the field of everybody, just seeing what kind of laps they're running, and a lot of people either didn't take laps or they're not even doing anything. They're confident, I guess. Of course, Ty, no practice Morosco in that number 1 car. He only done 8 laps. He's good.
Exactly. He's like, Daytona's wide open anyways. What do you need to practice?
That's right.
All right, there. We got the first question for you out there.
Okay.
It's so Savage Edge says, how many TNA drivers are you taking out in the 500 next week?
Well, I don't know why he's asking who had to do Corey, because he's not in the race. Corey, Chris, or Rick. Well, they need to ask Aaron Bach over that question. He's the one that does that on the super speedways. It's not me. And as many as I can.
There you go. Because at Daytona, if you start wrecking them, you might as well make it big and spectacular, especially for me up here in the booth. So
Go big or go home, right?
exactly.
Savage Edge, yeah, that had to be Corey. Corey, you just make sure that number 3 stays behind the 86 and we'll be all right. Been kind of watching this pack of the number 10 with Taylor Butcher, the Benjamin in it. Just sitting there cruising around in a little 4-pack there with the 44 of Aaron Bach over, and I don't know who else is in this thing. Looks like the 8 of them, man, is Sherman and the 18. I got to remember these numbers, man. I don't remember these numbers. Jason Powell.
Yep. These are the 4 cars that we've been looking at for a little bit. Trying the 2 lanes here, seeing how these cars run side by side. Yeah, if I was these guys, I'd be right on each other's door, really trying to see that side draft effect, see what we're going to be dealing with in this race. Like we said, you might as well push the limits in practice because it does not count like the race. So,
and again, you've already alluded to this, but this race here, the top 3 do win money on this.
And to get not only win some money, but be able to turn some heads and be like, hey, you might want to think about working with me. I know we got some strong teams, it sounds like, out here in Blazing Pedals, but you can always turn some heads and be like, hey, you might want to think about working with me next weekend when the actual Daytona race 4 points rolls on around.
Yeah, we definitely have some strong teams here. Again, Speed Mafia guys, MFRD guys, the TNA guys, Team AV guys. And we also got some loaners out here that does pretty damn good by themselves. There's a little bit of a wreck there between Jason.
Yep.
And I just got a message from Mark Arthur. He is advancing the session. So we're going to start seeing the qualifying going on, guys.
Alrighty, so we will click on over to qualifying here as we get a couple last hard hits before the session finishes on over as we wrap up practice and jump time here to qualifying. We'll see who's the first to roll on out of pit road as they get their lone attempt at qualifying.
I'm going to take a ride with the 88 of Mr. Jamie Walker. Jamie Walker last season almost won that championship. He had, how many wins did he have last season? Jamie Walker had 5 wins last season, 14 poles. Had the most poles in the league last season.
As we look at the 88 discount tire machine going down that backstretch. Getting that thing wound on up in the high lane. We'll have to see if he keeps to the high lane for his first entire lap or if he goes on down. But you don't want to be too close to the wall because, like we said, these bodies do skew out. But you can also get some an air bubble. iRacing did implement air with the wall and that sort of thing. So if you're too close, the wall will actually start sucking you in and slowing you down. So we'll have to see where this 88 places himself. He's pretty close to that wall. I think he's probably feeling a little bit of that effect. So we'll see where he can cycle on out with his money lap here in the second lap as he's still to the top side winding up that discount tire 88 machine. As he comes off of turn 4, this time we'll see him hug that double yellow line. Try and make that track as short as possible. Move that wheel as little as possible. See what kind of run he can put together here. As he goes P1 actually that time from the top side. So that is a good sign that he's carrying some good momentum as he goes through turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Now down the super stretch there. Pretty interesting line. Fairly high up. Pretty in the middle of that backstretch. So
yeah, I was kind of watching that too.
Really trying to use as little wheel as possible off the corner. So we'll have to see where that files him on in as he does cut to the apron here. We will get the timing and scoring as he does go to provisional pole as of right now with a 49.24. But we'll have to see where everyone else can file on in.
And from the looks of it, we have a few electing not to qualify at the moment. Of course, again, Josh Sexton, Amanda Sherman, and Brad Collins are not eligible for the qualify run.
As we see the 33 machine of John Perkins, slot into P9 right there on his money lap. So yeah, we've had 13 drivers so far take a lap. At least 3 more cars out here trying to take a lap. As we look at the 09 machine of James Miller.
So a little something interesting about Rick Thompson that most people know. A lot of times Rick Thompson races in his RV, camper, whatever heck he pulls or drives. His wife is a traveling nurse, and not Rick Thompson, John Perkins, I'm sorry. John Perkins' wife. But he gets out there and rolls along with her, and on Sundays he gets in his rig and races.
Well, that's pretty cool, racing on the road.
And believe it or not, Brett, I can't really recall if he's ever had any disconnects because of that.
Wow, I was going to say, yeah, I was just about to say, I bet he's got to have some killer Wi-Fi signal because iRacing is pretty taxing on that sort of thing. So pretty impressive to see him not only be able to fit a sim racing setup in an RV, but also to stay in a race and not have bad quality on top of it.
And you'll see as the season goes on, once we start getting the driver on camera and stuff like we've had, sometimes he'll throw a camera on and he might shows where he's at or something like that. But yeah, his wife's doing a wonderful thing out there, being a traveling nurse and doing a hell of a job out there for everybody.
So Terry, it looks like you were right at first. We got a few comments saying it was Rick Thompson. You were right the first time.
What I thought, why do I think it was John Perkins? Huh. Anyway, one of the two.
Yep. Close enough, as we do get all the rest of the cars to take a time, as the one car does post a time here.
Oh my lord. Yep. Ty No Practice Morosco bringing up the end on the 17th spot with a 50.188. Uh, he's still on track. Let's see what he does here.
Yep. As with that lap time, it seems like he wants to start in the back, maybe just kind of ride around. But we'll see if he can improve his second lap here in qualifying.
So one thing we've done this season, Brett, for qualifying in all the races, we are going to start paying money for the pole sitter, $3, and the second place will be getting $1. This is all brought by, I wanted to say MFRD, Michael Falk. You know, that's Michael Falk Pole Sitting Award, I think is what we're calling it.
Alrighty, well, that's pretty cool stuff out there. So the guys that can lay down a flying lap will be rewarded. So always cool to have stuff like that in the league, as the one car actually jumps all the way to the 7th position with that second lap. So as another Michael Falk racing design car, I have a feeling we'll see a lot of those out here. It seems like a majority of these cars painted up by them, and they all look sweet.
Well, we definitely know MFRD. He has his own team out here. The number 9, Nick Akie, Dalton Kilroy in the 41, Derek Paulson in the 6, Jamie Walker in the 88, and Mark Arthur and Ty Morosco. They all run one of Michael's paints. And that's just a few of them. I know, like I said, we talked to Amanda earlier. We know she runs one of Michael's paints. There's, I think, Speed Mafia. I think Michael may have done a lot of all their paints. So there is a bunch of paints out here done by MFRD. Well, I think qualifying is done.
Yeah, I think we are about wrapped up here. Everyone that is eligible to take a time did take a time, so
So the only one I'm seeing that didn't and is eligible is Jeff Fisher.
yeah, looks like the 06 of Jeff Fisher. Maybe waiting on him. I thought I heard that all the drivers that were in the session had to take a time, so I don't know if they're waiting on the 06.
Or wait, oh well. Well, I don't know what we're waiting on here.
It seems like Corey Rutherford also does some pretty good paint schemes too, so we'll have to keep an eye out. It looks like it's the CJR graphics design, so we'll have to keep an eye out for those cars out here.
I know Corey Sherman, he does Bockover's paints in the 44. He does his paints. He does his wife's paints occasionally. He's made me a couple cars. Rick Hammond Jr., he does my cars, and I'm debuting my new car next Sunday.
Alrighty, we'll have to keep an eye out for that 86 machine next Sunday. And yep,
Trust
everyone.
me, you won't miss it.
Alrighty, good. Hopefully the other drivers won't miss it out on track.
Well, I hope they do. I hope they don't hit it.
Yep, that is correct. Be sure to tune in next Sunday for the start of the season, as this is the clash. No points, but money on the line, as the cars are getting ready to grid on up here for the main event. 50 laps around this 2.5 mile Daytona Super Speedway. as we will go through tonight's starting order. Jamie Walker in the 88 machine starts on the pole. Taylor Butcher Benjamin will start on the outside of the front row. Matt, is it Gruenberg?
Yes, Matt Gruenberg.
Matt Gruenberg in the 54 will start P3. Dalton Kilrow in the 41 will start 4th. And Sam Bumgarden?
Sam Bumgarden.
All right, Sam Bumgarden in the 53 will start P5.
So it says 53. It's actually the 57.
Okay. Then starting to his outside, Derek Paulson in the 5, but I believe it's the 6 out here on his car. Ty Marasco in the
Very
1 will
good.
start
There you go.
7th. Tanner Marr in the 4 will start 8th. Starting 9th is Jordan
McAvoy.
All right. Jordan McAvoy in the 21 will start 9th. And Jason Powell in the 18 will round out the top 10.
Okay, then we got John Perkins in the 33 starting 11th. Aaron Bockover in his 44 starting 12th. Rick Thompson in the 76 starting 13th. Matt Hackathorn in that 84 is going to be in 14th. Ian Habiak, the kid, in the 16 starting 15th. James Miller in the 09 be starting 16th. Van Fleet in the 89 starting 17th. Again, Josh Sexton starting 18th. Jeffrey Fisher 19th. Brad Collins in the 22 starting 20th. Amanda Sherman in the 8 rounds out the top. Rounds out 21. Huh, how'd that happen?
Yeah, so we got 21 cars in this main event, so interesting there, but we have 21 cars here and 21 have gridded and started, so we will have to see how this plays on out. Top 3 paying positions. So everyone fighting for those, as well as the bragging rights, get that win early in the season. See who may have a good shot. See who could be a force to reckon with these Arca cars.
Okay, from Mark Arthur, the first 25 laps, you cannot go 3 wide unless you are dropping to the back, which we do that a lot in the big races. But after that, they can go 3 wide after about 26.
Alrighty, as we see the flag man waving the green flag, we are racing here at Daytona for the main event. 50 laps underway. And we'll have to keep that in mind. We'll have to see who pulls shoots early, who goes to the back, who rides around, and who wants to lead this race. We already see one car pulling shoots here early. As the leader does so as well, the pole sitter of Jamie Walker pulling shoots as well. So interesting call there. Puts it on pole and says, I want to stay out of the lead. So whole bunch of strategy happening. We'll have to see what plays out best scenario for everyone.
41 of Dalton Fielder, he elected to let it drift to the back, so he's now sitting in the back here, right next to the 89 of Philip.
As once again, we kind of see this top side forming up a little bit better than this inside line, so maybe people feel safer on that top side, but we heard Amanda Sherman say she wanted to get to that bottom as soon as she could, so
I'm watching Amanda right now. She is staying back. She's not losing the draft, but yet she's not running up there and trying to cause a big scene. Maybe she's got something on her mind about maybe being there at the end of this thing.
yes, definitely keeping with the pack, but trying to not be a part of the pack, just in case if something does happen is we do have 2 cars kind of running on their own, about 2 seconds behind the pack. They might lose it with being that far back. That is our pole sitter and Brad Collins, who did transfer in this race. So as we go up to the front, last year's champion out front here.
So Matt Grunberg, like I said, had 13 wins last year. No poles. He always started in the back. 25 top 5s, 28 top 10s.
So
Believe it or not, out of 34 races, he only had 74 incidents points all season.
Wow. So he was very consistent, kept that car clean, and was there when it mattered. So he's looking to keep that form as he is leading this top lane. But right now, Taylor Butcher Benjamin leading that inside line in the 10.
Yeah, that's another one we got to keep a watch out for. That number 10 there, old Doc is what we call him. I don't know what he's. I know he goes to Penn State. I don't know if he's trying to be a doctor or just, I don't know, call him Doc now. I don't know. But yeah, got to watch him too.
Yeah, and that Top Flight Computers number 10 machine. Completed 5 laps already of this 50. No 3 wide action unless you're dropping to the back till lap 25. So everyone's kind of hanging on out where they're at, seeing how these cars drive.
Watching the 57 of Sam Baumgarten. He's doing an awesome job right there on the back of the 10 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Not pushing the issue, not doing nothing like that at all. Also with the 1 of Ty Morosco staying behind the 54 of Matt Gruenberg. Not pushing the issue, just chilling out for a while. Long race.
Yep, as that top side now carrying a good bit of momentum. Pushed Matt Gruenberg even with the inside line. He was about 2.5 car lengths back a lap ago. So that outside line gaining some energy, gaining some momentum. Obviously, if they continue that. I think it matters almost more importantly, especially in these Arca cars where you can't make contact. I think the guy pushing that second car in both lanes will be the determining factor of how well that line runs and who will probably win this race is how well of a second place car you got helping you.
Also checking out in the back here, Brett, Amanda Sherman, Josh Stetson, Dalton Gilroy, Jamie Walker, and Brad Collins running nose to tail, but they've got so much space in between them that once the lead car takes off, the other ones will be able to take off and keep right up with them and join that pack if they need to.
Yeah, and I'm impressed those 2 cars of the 88 and the 22 were able to re-catch the field, so they didn't lose the draft and actually caught back up. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe some 2-car tandems could work just a little bit to catch a pack if needed.
I think everybody's kind of got the butterflies gone now, and the cars look like going down the highway around the racetrack pretty straight. You don't see a lot of dipping in and out. As of now, we don't. So I know these guys got these racing seats under their butts and ready to do this.
Yeah, I agree. It looks a lot more straight, a lot more, let's say, organized here for the first half of this. The first beginning portion of this race compared to the last race. It seemed like the cars were a lot more handful. Also, maybe a idea. Fisher got hit under caution and should have transferred, so maybe he got brought in due to that. So maybe that's why we got 21 cars instead of the 20. So
10-4, that very well could be it.
As we kind of looking like the highway out here, 2x2 for about, I want to say about 8 rows deep here. of cars not being able to move and kind of rush hour traffic jam a little bit for at 180, 190 miles an hour.
That 22 Brad Collins. Look at him real quick. No help. He's sitting on the outside all by himself. He might have a little bit of draft up there. Oh, he's got a lot of draft now. He just took off. But up there by himself trying to catch up to that outside draft, dropping down to the bottom in front of Amanda Sherman at number 8.
Yep, so maybe he thought maybe they were getting a little bit too far away from the pack, or maybe he wants to go up to the pack now, but...
And again, I think they actually do have to stop for fuel.
Yeah, that would throw a wrench in everything, because then you have to pit with the pack, but do you want to pit with the small pack, the big pack? Because the bigger of a pack that pits, the more chance that there's an incident that someone may overshoot, lock up the brakes, get loose, spin it out, and then you're not only trying to make pit road speed, but now you're trying to dodge a car.
Going through the field here, I just happened to see the 44 of Aaron Bach over blink out of it for a couple seconds there. So I hope he's not going to have computer issues. You know how that's like. Somebody blinks out, lands in your car. That is never fun.
Nope, especially here at Daytona where everyone's so close and any sort of contact will ensue a wreck. So you want to be on track at all times.
Give a little bit of room to that lead car in front of him, the 6 of Ty Morosco. Or not Ty Morosco, Derek Paulson.
Yeah, a little bit of gap. I don't know if he's trying to let someone in from this top side, but it seems like most of the cars are filing down to that inside line, as now there's only about 6 cars up top, whereas the rest of the field down low. And that's where the energy will be at, is the down low inside line, the short way around the speedway as of right now. As the one car does file in as well, so the outside loses another car here. Look at Ty Morosco here, sitting 4th in the inside line.
There's a little story on that car for Ty Morosco and that number 1 Dairy Queen looking car. That come back a while back. That was our DQ car. He got DQ'd a few times in the race, and I think we all made fun of him. He had to drive in that car.
There you go. So could mean Dairy Queen, could mean disqualification. We don't quite know, but still another great looking paint scheme from the Michael Falk Racing Designs. As the outside line starting to build back a little bit of a charge. Was down to about the 4th row on the inside, now almost clear of the inside line going into turn 3.
Yeah, it seems like that top line, even though there's only 5 cars in it, are a little bit tighter than that bottom line are.
Yeah, it does seem like this top side's trying to get to the front if they can, whereas that inside line's more kind of riding around, just clicking off the laps, making sure that nothing crazy happens before it needs to in this race. Now in the YouTube chat land, someone's thinking about 22 to 24 laps on fuel, so maybe we'll even have to see some fuel saving to get to the end. So maybe that's why we see so many cars down on the inside line, trying to just kind of ride in the draft, not run full throttle, save a lap. But even saving a lap of fuel is asking a lot here at this 2.5 mile super speedway. So it will be a tall order if they have to try and save fuel.
Yeah, we kid about it a lot, but I tell you what, Dalton Kilrow, he has become just the king of saving fuel. In that 41 car of his, you'll see that throughout the season. He plays his fuel strategy very well, and he has won races because of that. Dalton Kilrow won, how many did you win last season? 5, and he ended up in 4th in our points last season.
All right, so if anyone can stretch the fuel, it sounds like this 41 machine of Dalton Kilrow will be the man to do it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that 41 when the pit cycle's on through. The question is, can anyone stretch the fuel as far as him? Because even if he can stretch the fuel, you got to pit with your friends to stay in the draft and not get left out to dry, let's say.
So another rule change, not really a rule change, we've done for this season, Brett. In the past, we've always given them 3 sets of tires, 4 counting the one you start with. This season, you will actually have 4 extra tires, 5 counting the one you start with. So that's one change you're going to see starting next week. But, we don't change tires a whole lot at Daytona anyway. But through the season, you're going to see us do that. Now, we got a couple guys out here that can save tires, and they are just awesome doing it. Matt Gruber's one of them.
Okay, yeah, that's always my favorite to watch how a driver's driving, saving those tires, feeling that car. So I'll be sure to check out that 54 car, especially in the corner, see what he's maybe doing. And I'm sure we'll be talking to him throughout this season, so I'll have to ask what he's doing and maybe seeing what makes that 54 car so fast, if he can give us some insight.
I think we might start seeing pit stops here shortly. I think Amanda Sherman just called out that she may be pitting, I think. I wasn't sure what she said, but I'm going to stay on top of her and watch.
Alrighty. Because, yeah, these leaders, especially Taylor and Matt up in the front, they've been wide open for the longest time, so they got to be some of the first to come on in, whereas some guys kind of middle of the pack that have been lifting to not run over the car in front of them can make it a little bit longer on fuel. So that's an 18, almost gets the wall. I don't think there was an inch between him and that right rear quarter panel through 3 and 4.
Nope, she didn't pit this time.
As we do click over to 20 laps down, 30 to go in this race. So these laps are clicking on by here very quickly.
Okay. So Mark I can't hear everything that's going on, but Mark just said that she was calling out and she was slowing down a little bit. That's what the call out was. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate the insight there. So, because she is leading that second group out here, want to make sure that doesn't get run over from the back, because that's always the worst too. You ride in the back, ride in that second group to stay out of the big one, and you check up, and then the car behind you, since they can't see past you since you're blocking their view, run straight into the back of you, and you're like, man, why was I even riding around in the back in the first place? So good stuff there with the communication. As they always say, communication is key, especially at these super speedway races.
I think it'd be cool if iRacing would put something out there that we can do a hotkey on. It'll throw up your arms as you're slowing down or something.
Exactly. Start waving out the back of your window or out the left side of your car.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, because at least in real life racing, I know I've done that many of times in the short track racing that I've done to let the cars know around me that we are slowing on down if we need to. So it would be cool to see something like that in iRacing, maybe, as we do see the 10 car rolling on down to pit road here. We'll see how everyone gets down pit road. Looks like everyone able to keep it facing the right direction, and we'll have to keep an eye out for any penalties.
It is getting busy, that's for sure.
As
Matt
next time,
Gruber,
bye.
Benjamin, uh, 21 of Jordan McAvoy.
As we do see some cars down pit road here. We go back up to the front. Sam Bumgarden in the 57 machine leads the way. I gotta think those Michael Falk Racing Design cars coming on in here soon, as we see the 57 come on in, but the rest of the guys stay on out. So group number 2 coming
we
into
got
pit
one
road
over the
as
grass.
33
I'm
in the
sorry.
grass. Everyone avoids him somehow though, but I think that would be a penalty, as the 18 also
Yeah, it
in
was
the
Jason
grass
Powell,
big
the
time.
18.
As some pit
Uh,
road struggles here for this group.
Last season, Jason Powell, he isn't an admin. Last season, he was in the live admin for the races last season. So he ain't been racing a whole lot. So this is gonna be another full season for him.
As he is still on pit road, so maybe serving a penalty or something with that. So as we see the final group of cars dart down pit road on lap 23. So at this pace, they will have to pit one more time if we don't get a yellow flag, or they'll have to try and stretch the fuel. So some interesting stuff unfolding here in this race.
We got the 41, the 10, or the 18 still on there. And the 1 and 6 just come down pit lane, top up thing off of fuel and get back out there. Now, Brett, this is going to stretch everybody out, I would think. No more packs.
Yeah, because right now the 44 and the 53 kind of in their own at the front of the field. Maybe only did a splash and go. Maybe trying to do a quick stop. They are about 1.5 seconds over the big field behind them, so we will have to see where they cycle on out. And these guys still rolling off the pit road, but those other cars up to song and coming strong down the backstretch behind them.
Okay, we do have one nice sized pack of I see Jordan McAvoy's in it. Trying to see who's all in this thing. Matt Grunberg, the 10 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. We got a nice little pack here going.
Yep, as the 44 of Aaron Backover does take the race lead here.
Now we're at 25. We're halfway through this. They can get us 3 wide. Once they cross the start finish line up here, taking lap 26. So it may start getting interesting.
Yep, that will be the case, as the high side does have the run, as only 2 cars down low at the moment. So the 21 machine does take the race lead here. And while you were gone, Terry, I kind of chose the 09 machine of James Miller as my driver to pick tonight. Hopefully I didn't give him the announcer's curse, but as we do get the cross flags here, 25 laps to go as they crossed on by, as we got double file racing at the front.
That might be a good bet. I'd have to go back and see who actually won Daytona. But that wouldn't be a bad deal.
As the 10 car through 1 and 2 there, he was right up against that wall, just like we saw before. I don't think he had an inch to that right rear quarter panel, so you have to try and keep that thing a little bit lower, but maybe seeing how that car feels in the third lane as he now goes to the bottom, really gets away from that wall.
Looking back here in the field a little bit, we got Philip Van Fleet coming back here. He's in a pack with 5 other cars. Man, they are way off the pace. It looks like Amanda Sherman's leading these guys around here. I think if they stay in a straight line, they'll be all right and maybe able to catch that pack up there.
Yeah, by my calculations, they are losing the draft a little bit in front of him. We'll try and maybe pull up the last couple lap times by these guys, but I believe losing some time. Yeah, the last 2 laps lost a second and a quarter, 8/10 of a second, and this last time by lost a full second. So this second pack losing time to the leaders. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch them. So they're probably hoping and praying for a yellow flag or some issues for this front pack if they do have to come down on pit road once again.
But they are sitting in a good spot if something does happen to that lead pack. They should be able to slow them cars down enough where they don't get involved.
Yep. Yeah, they'll have plenty of space to slow their cars on down from 180 to about a nice 50 miles an hour or so. Make sure that they can drive on through it without a issue. As we'll see this time by another second lost a lap. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we look back to the front of the field.
Well, I'm watching Sam again in that 57 car. From the start of this race, he really has not lost his position. He's been sitting right there all this pretty much whole race. So I'm going out on a limb, buddy. I'm going to take the 57 tonight.
All righty, we like that choice as well. It does seem like he's been pretty good, been a great pusher so far, so that's always a good thing. I always like to look to see who are the good pushers. That means not only are they fast, but also have a good head on their shoulders, and that's key to have in these super speedway races. So I do like that pick.
Though, now that I made that pick, I'm probably going to get some nasty text messages here after a bit.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're here to make the bold calls.
No, you are here. I'm just here to help. That's all I'm here for. And, my teammate is now leading this race on the inside of 44 of Aaron Bockover. So me not picking him, oh boy.
Yeah, especially him leading the inside row. Whew. As that time by, we got 20 laps to go in this main event.
Plus, again, we know they have to stop one more time.
Yep. We'll have to see when cars decide to come on down pit road who gets caught out. Jason Powell looks like a lap down now in that 18 car with that incident on pit road.
Now, I do not know if Mark has the lucky dog turned on this race or not. So if he does, that might be a good thing for Jason if something would happen here.
Yeah, that's the only thing he could hope for, unless he can race his way back on the lead lap the hard way by passing all of these guys. But that is a tall order to ask.
That is less than 20 laps. That's a big order. James Miller giving a nice little push right there.
As they are still side by side for the race lead. Jeff Fisher leading the top side. Aaron Bockover leading the inside line still.
Amanda Sherman just calling out everybody behind her to tighten this thing up so they can get up there.
Yeah, because now they are all the way 12 seconds behind this pack. So
okay, her and Brad Collins are now talking. Brad Collins is going to take the lead on this. We're going to switch spots here to see what he can do.
yeah, and I do like that call, a car that wasn't leading, so they can kind of go wide open, have someone else save a little bit of fuel, maybe have that lead car be wide open, see what they can do, and expend a little bit of that fuel. So
I'm sure Amanda will jump in right behind the 16 of Ian Havey, push him on up with Van Vliet and them to keep that thing moving.
Yeah, because they got to get organized as quickly as possible, because even though they are still in a line, finally in a line a little bit, they are broken up just a smidge, and that's going to hurt them ever so slightly even more.
Back up front, Jeffrey Fisher still holding that outside with Miller pushing him.
Yep.
He's got the lead at this moment.
Yep, almost was clear of the 44 here. We'll have to see what kind of run they get through the tri-oval, because they got that good a run coming out of the corner. They got to have a good run down the straightaway. As I believe we will have a lap car here in a short amount of time. The 76 machine
Now,
of
what we
Rick
do
Thompson.
here on that stuff, that is up to that guy. He does not have to move out of their way. We do not make nobody move out of nobody's way here. It's up to the drivers to get around that lap vehicle.
Alrighty. So they'll probably just ask him to hold a line, pick a line, hold it, and they'll try and get on around him, as Jeff Fisher and James Miller able to clear that inside line, and both of them able to get down low, as this lap car does stay high and up out of the way from everyone.
Lap car of Rick Thompson right there. Awesome job, these guys getting around him.
Yep. So then the battle becomes, if the lucky dog is on, between the 76 and the 18. 18, the last car in this pack, the 76 on that high side. So they'll have to fight each other for the lucky dog if it is in fact on. So there's always something to race for here at these super speedways. The outside line has dissipated a little bit. Only 3 cars up there. Still making it fairly work decently, so we'll have to see when everyone else decides to jump on up, if they do. Because like we said, they will have to come down pit road sometime soon. The question is how soon.
I'm sitting there watching 84 Matt Hackathorn. He's on that high line, and he dropped way back here. Maybe just seeing what kind of run he can get. Maybe he's setting himself up to pass these guys at the end of this race. But he's caught right back up to that top line again.
Yeah, he's made up a few positions going to that top side with those limited cars up top. So he's going to try and see if he can help this 21 kind of get that energy to those front 2 cars, as the 10 now able to pull alongside of the 06 there.
I am liking this race, Brett.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more crazy as the laps click on down, especially once we get inside of 10. It's going to ramp on up, and then inside of 5 to go, it's going to get even crazier, especially whenever people decide to pit. So it's setting up to be a good one, that's for sure, Terry.
So you have all the timing and stuff. Has that backpack able to close that gap at all?
They have not. They're still 15, almost 16 seconds back. So they aren't losing as fast anymore, but they're still losing compared to this front pack. So the only way, especially if it goes green, what they got to do is have a super short pit stop. That means fuel only, a splash and go, and try and take as little fuel as possible to try and see if they can undercut these front guys.
Yeah, somebody's gonna be figuring out some math here, just take enough to get back out there pretty quick.
Exactly. I gotta, especially with 5 laps, I gotta imagine it's about 5 gallons or less that they only gotta take. So don't expect to see anyone take tires, as it'll probably only be a splash and go.
One thing I wish iRacing would let us do, since we're just watching the race, would see their pedal input. I would love to see what they're doing.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I guess I could do an in car to see what if I can see the thing on their tack.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we'll jump to the 44 of Aaron Bach over and maybe run with the Salvage Edge onboard machine. For the TNA Motorsports, so we'll see him sawing on the wheel a little bit, hearing him play with the throttle just ever so slightly to make sure he doesn't hit that car in front of him. But this is how crazy it is at Daytona. Cars all around that 44 machine.
I'm watching in car of the 41 of Dalton Kilrow there, Mr. Captain Save Fuel. He's not backing off, man. He's not saving nothing.
Oh, as they hit bumpers there. I don't know how they kept it straight, but the 44 in the
got one going around.
in the back is we do have one going around.
That did not bring out a caution.
Yep, that's the one other thing with this track of Daytona. If there is a wreck not on the racing surface, Daytona loves to not throw the yellow flag. So Derek Paulson in that 6 machine has some damage, and he was the one that hit the back of the 44, I believe. So we'll try and see what happened. That 6 car trying to get back up on track and makes contact with the 57 machine. And that's what sends him on through the grass. So that 6 car actually trying to re-merge from getting knocked on the apron. Able to do a 360 with that thing and get that thing rolling back in the right direction. But outside of the draft and hoping for a yellow flag. I'm amazed that thing didn't bring out the yellow, as he did end up spinning on the racing surface. So
I was just looking over the 57 of the rookie Sam Baumgarten there. There's no damage on his car whatsoever, so I don't know what the 6 done there.
And yeah, look at this. We got a whole bunch of people, the whole half, at least half, if not everyone from this first pack jumping down pit road. Did that 4 car of Tanner Marr make it down pit road to the pit road speed? He was hauling a lot of speed. That was close.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a penalty probably.
As we got contact down pit road, the 10 car facing the wrong way. I don't know what happened there, but a tough break for that 10 car on the money stop here late in this race, as everyone else taking some splash and go fuel.
So one rule we have here, Brett, at Blazing Pedals, coming down, exiting pit road, you must stay to the right of pit lane, unless the guy in front of you is just really, really slow. But it looks like everybody's up to speed on that.
Gotcha. So yeah, we'll have to see if there's a penalty coming from that or what shakes off from there. But we are 7 laps to go here. Philip Fleet leading this race, but ducking down to pit road with Amanda Sherman. Both the last two to pit, trying to see what they can do. Just a splash and go. Both of them seem to have made it onto pit road with no issue. But the 54 machine leading the way actually swaps places with the 21 machine. So as the second pack has a huge run, some cars going high here.
Oh no, teammate Philip Bansley with Amanda Sherman. He has not left the pitch yet.
Oh man, yeah, maybe taking some tires. Forgot to tell his crew not to take the tires on the car, so we'll have to see how that.
I forgot. He also works third shifts, so he may be out of the race just to go to work.
Yeah, something, because unless he didn't roll it down enough and got a penalty. But yeah, it's still on pit road for the 89 machine, so you hate to see that, as you will go a lap down here. The Ty Marasco leading this race on the top side. Let's see if he slides that down to the bottom. He does, in the 57 machine of Sam Bumgarden follows him. Your pick, Terry, looking pretty good. Once again, second car on that inside lane. It seems like he really likes that position.
Yeah, but you still got Jeffrey Fisher up top with Matt Gruenberg. They're pushing their way up there. See what these guys can do.
Yep, and looks like those are team cars with the way those graphics are very similar on the side, so you got to expect those cars to work very well together on that top lane. And both those cars had a lot of speed.
So I'm back here a little ways. I'm with your pick of the 09 of James Miller. Him and the 41 of Dalton Kilroe are running nose to tail. That's all there is just those two cars. No help at all.
Yep, in the middle of between two packs, because then the 88 and the 84 in their own little pack, they're about 5 seconds behind them. So two smaller packs, so we got a race of about 7 for this lead pack here. As we have been green flagged this whole time, Terry. Will this thing finish under green? Because you got to remember, if we see the white flag, means the race will end under checker. No more yellow flags will come on out. So if they wreck under yellow, everyone's keeping their foot in it.
So just give you a heads up real quick. For some reason, my lights are blinking in my house. So I don't know if my power's about ready to go out or what. But as long as I'm here, I'll stay right here. So kind of watching Aaron Bach over at 44. He has chosen to stay up on that high line with Gruenberg and Fisher. Might be a good choice for him.
Yeah, I agree, because wherever that fourth car, because we could get 2 rows of 3, wherever that fourth car decides to go, I think will determine on what lane will have the energy. Right now, 4 cars up top, and I think that would be the place to be. As this time by, the flagman holds up popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go at Daytona. 5 miles left in this race. As they can stick it 3 wide, but they'll probably wait for that the last lap if the 44 decides to do that.
By Amanda Sherman somewhere.
As we get a yellow flag, not in this front pack. That's not what this front pack wanted to see. As we go further on back, yeah, it looks like maybe...
Looks like the 22 of Brad Collins.
Yeah, Brad Collins with some damage. It looks like the 51 with some heavy right side damage as well. As we'll try and maybe go back a little bit, and they are already wrecking on my replay coming out of 4. And then Amanda Sherman with Brad Collins as well with some contact. So not sure what triggered it, but at least 5 cars right around the 13th to 15th position involved in that. And then, Terry, do you know if we have green-white checkers in this main event?
I have no clue. I really don't.
Alrighty, we will have to see as the pace car is out there. As it seems like maybe there is no green-white checkered, so I think this race may end under yellow here.
Very well could. I just seen that Josh Sexton in his 51 got the EOL. And, yeah, this race is over, bud. So it looks like Jeffrey Fisher, Sam Bumgarden, Ty Morosco. Good deal.
Yep, looks like they will be our top 3 for this race. We'll have a word with each of them. But a crazy race there. Some crazy action down pit road, but what a way to finish it. We'll have to ask Ty how he got it done and what his outlook for the season is, as we will see the one car burning on down once we go to commercial quick and try and talk with these drivers.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
As we are back here watching the one car burn it on down, gets the job done. But first, we will talk to our podium finishers. We'll try and get a hold of Sam Bumgarden in the 57 machine.
Jeffrey Fisher is going to be getting in team speak, so we'll give him a second.
Alrighty, cool. So we should be able to talk to our second place guy. But first, we'll talk to Sam. Sam, do you got a copy? It's Brett and Terry in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Alrighty, man. Seems like that car was working really well, especially pushing on that inside line. How was the car tonight?
I mean, the car felt fine. Mark made another great setup as usual. It was real racy. Seemed like the top line had more momentum coming out of the corners, but in the corners, the low line could prevail. You could bump, but I mean, you had to be real careful with it. Other than that, it handled great all night. I just wish we wouldn't have got that caution on the last lap. Like that kind of sucks.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer to end it in that little bit anticlimactically, but overall coming out in a money position, getting to talk to the broadcaster, and hopefully this is starting the season on the right foot.
Yeah, we hope so. We actually switched from the 53 to the 57 this year, so maybe new number will bring us some good luck, and I'm stoked to start the rest of the season. Good win to Ty. I wasn't going to leave his bumper, so at least he won.
Hey, Rook, it's Terry. Good job, man. I had you for the pick tonight, Sam. If you listen to this back, you'll hear how I picked you. Man, you stayed on that bottom and behind whoever. I know you stayed right there, even behind Aaron and them. Awesome job, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we can only do there's probably about 20 laps of fuel. Probably a little less, a little more, whatever. But you had to be on the low line just so you were able to pit. And I didn't jump up to the high side. The only time I was going to jump to the high side is like after that last pit stop, try and make a run for the win or something. But other than that, whoever was in front of me, I was glued to their bumper pretty much the whole time. It's Daytona, so you really just got to play the waiting game. Once it comes down to the last 5 laps, then it's go time. But don't be the guy leading. But like I said, at least it lucked out for Ty. I could at least push him, and once the caution came out, he got the win. So we'll take 3rd place. Hopefully, it's a good start to the rest of the season. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Well, hell of a 3rd place, buddy. What do you got on the car to thank tonight?
Yeah, definitely want to thank Michael Falk Racing Designs. He's the one that painted the car. He does great work. As you can see, he paints like half the field. Also want to thank Savage Edge Graphics. If you guys need your logo printed on anything, as Chris Legou would say, you go to savageedge.com, talk to Corey Sherman. It'll get you hooked up. I also want to shout out NextEv Media. Just joined their stream team. So give a shout out to those guys. Go to nextevmedia.com. Check them out. Other than that, thank you guys for broadcasting, and the new broadcaster. Appreciate you doing this. TRJ Karting, as always, and Mark for putting the sessions up and everything. Glad we could have a clash and have fun.
All right, bud. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, Sam. Yep, great job here tonight, and look forward to talking to you in the future as the season progresses.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, that was our 3rd place finisher. Now we'll go talk to the runner-up finisher of Jeffrey Fisher. Jeff, you got a copy. It's Brett and Terry in the booth here.
Hello, Jeff.
Copy.
Yeah, we got you there. How was that '06 car? It seemed like you and the 54 were working very well together, trying your best, but had that premature caution to end the race a little before when the action really started to ramp on up.
Yeah, I mean the car wasn't bad. Plate track package, and find.
Oh, Jeff, I think you're cutting a little bit in and out.
Got a copy now because I noticed on TeamSpeak button.
Yeah,
Up.
it seems a lot more consistent now.
Okay, I just need to move the mic closer. Yeah, I mean the 06 wasn't too bad. We just came up a little short at the end. As always, Matt's always a great pusher, and we always seem to find our way together at the end of these. Head start into the season.
So, Jeff, I have a question for you. You know, we was originally supposed to start 20 cars. That we brought you in. Was that because of the incident at the last race? Is that why we got you in here?
Yeah, that's what yeah. So when the caution came out, I was P2, and then there was an incident under the yellow where I got knocked up into the wall. No fault on anyone. It's just situational awareness sometimes is lapse judgment, stuff like that happens. But yeah, it was just moved up by technical default.
Oh, 10-4. Well, man, you started 19th, you ended second place tonight. Awesome job in that number 6 car. I mean, we had the eyes glued on you a lot too tonight. What do you got car there you want to thank, buddy?
I want to thank Protect Our Winners, AV, James, Matt Berg, Matt Hackenthorn, Randy. He didn't make flash. Jordan, pretty much everyone that is possible. Got a good group backing us, and good showing. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations on that second place, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that was our runner-up finisher of Jeffrey Fisher. So now we'll go down to Victory Lane and talk to our winner of the 1 car. We'll see if Ty's got a copy. Ty, do you got a copy? It's Brett and Terry in the booth here.
Yes, I got a copy.
Wake up.
We're here. I'm awake.
Alrighty, I was going to say, hopefully you weren't partying too hard already down there in Victory Lane. How was the race? How was that 1 car here tonight?
Oh, the race, I mean, definitely, nice little short sprint compared to what's going to be next week. But, the race was good. I mean, there was little hiccups here and there, especially coming to pit road that last time, really shuffled everybody around. But I'm just glad to be here. I mean, I won.
Yep, couldn't ask for a better start for the season for this one team. You start off winning the Clash, so hopefully you can use that momentum, make a little bit of a statement for next week to be like, watch out for this car. It's got some good speed in it. What'd you think of the setup out here tonight?
I thought the setup was good. I mean, once you get used to it, a little tight in the corners once the tires, if they wear off, but nothing too hard to handle. This MFRD Ford Mustang did just fine tonight.
Well, Ty, congratulations, bud, on the win. And you only practiced like 17 or 18 laps, right?
Wait, I only practiced 17 or 18 laps?
Yeah, no practice, Ty. That's why we call you that,
that's
buddy.
actually, Terry, that's more than normal. I don't.
Yeah, actually it is. I'm glad to see even the one even got out on the track for the race. But,
yeah, usually don't see it till race time.
Awesome job out there, man. Started 7th and 1st there. Didn't look like the one was getting through there toward the end, but I think that little bit of screw up there at the end kind of helped you out a little bit. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could have made moves. Definitely just changed everything. We were coming to pit road with, I think it was with 6 to go or 5 to go. And we didn't, as a team, MFRD, we didn't plan on having everybody pit with us, but they did. So that really screwed everything up a little bit, and definitely some spinning out and a lot of people getting to try to get pit road at once, trying to get the one spot. Definitely changed the deal. But we were sitting in the back there for a minute. We're just waiting, just waiting to that last pit stop and then get out and try to make our moves. Once I came out and I think there was like 4 or 5 cars with me, and then Sam, thanks for the push and all. I mean, he probably would have pushed me close to the end right there. So I'd like to say thanks for him, help me push in front of Jeff right there. But hey, that's what it is. Is what it is. This is Daytona. Anything can happen.
That was going to be my next question, actually, when you start talking about pit road. I was watching, I'm sure Brett was too. All you guys come off the track at the same time at 1,000 mile an hour. Nobody wanted to give way, which I understand that. But man, we had a hell of a melee down through there. I'm surprised everybody got through it as good as they did. I know Jason, not Jason, but the 10 of Taylor, he got caught up in that. Actually, he got turned around. So pretty lucky there, dude.
Yeah, I'd say so. Coming to pit road is look congested, and guys are going. The speed limit's 60, and a couple guys are going slower than 60. So you're trying to get around them, navigate. People are trying to get into their pits, but you're inside of them, so they try to cut down right in front of you. Luckily, I got a little damage on the nose, I think, but not too much, and I was able to get to my box safely.
Okay, one more question. I'll let you go. We don't have to call out our pits in none of our races. Did anybody call out the pits for this on that stop?
That stop, no. When everybody was silent, I don't think anybody really called their pits the whole race.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, next week might be a little different because it's a little longer race. You don't have to. You're not racing. You can probably call out your pits for the first couple pit stops, maybe, since it's a longer race. And I'm sure teams will be out there calling their pits next week. But I mean, nobody called it out tonight, as I know of, at least.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Budge. You got on the car you want to thank tonight.
Michael Falk, MFRD. Michael Falk Racing Designs. He does a great job on my paint. Obviously, this is the rendition of the DQ paint that I made 2-3 years ago, and I love it. And I'm racing this season. And Terry, the whole thing behind the DQ.
I try to give a little insight to Brett.
It's pretty funny. The DQ symbol's still on the car. It's on one of the posts, but I like to thank Michael Falk making all my paints. Check him out on Facebook. He does a great job. And then obviously you guys, and then Mark putting on another season.
10-4, bud. Well, we'll let you get back down to where you're at, and I'll be out there next week.
Yeah, for the old guys, Rick and Chris, might as well I'm gonna go get some Dairy Queen ice cream now.
There you go. Have a good night, bud.
See ya.
There you go, Ty. Well, congratulations on the win. Great way to start the season, and hopefully we'll be talking to you as the season progresses.
Yes, I hope so too, Brett.
Alrighty, that was our race winner of the one car. Finishes P1 here tonight. So, a pretty wild race. Ended under yellow there, Terry, but I'm excited for next week. This is just a preview of what's to come for the main Daytona race. A little bit longer like everyone hinted at, so, a little bit easier than this even to start off. Everyone really riding around there, but ramping it up probably even more intense than we saw tonight. What do you think?
Oh, I know we will, Brett, because you got to realize only 4 drivers from the first race was in this one. All them other ones had to sit on the sidelines, plus the ones that actually didn't make it in the night, maybe personal reasons or whatever, myself helping you out. So we're going to have a lot more cars on track starting next week. And I tell you what, it's going to be a hell of a season.
It is. I'm definitely excited for it. What a way to kick it off with this clash. But we'll run through the driver results here on screen. So, Ty Morasco gets it done in the one car, finishes P1. Jeff Fisher in the 06 brings it home second. Sam Bumgarden in the 53 or 57 now brings home P3. Matt Gruenberg brings it home P4, and Tanner Marr rounds out your top 5 in the 4 car.
The 44, Aaron Bockover brings it home 6th. 20 for 1, and Jordan McAvoy takes 7th. Dalton Kilroe in that 41 brought home an 8th place finish. Your pick, James Miller in that 09 brings in 9th. Jamie Walker in the 88 brings in 10th.
bringing home P11 is Matt Hackathorn in the 84. 12th is Taylor Butcher Benjamin with that tough breakdown pit road. 13th is John Perkins in the 33. 14th is Ian Haybuck.
Haybiak.
I'll get it one time here. Haybiak in the 16. And then rounding out your top 15 is Brad Collins in the 22.
And the rest of the field, number 8, Amanda Sherman, 1 lap down, brings it home 16th. Rick Thompson in the 76, 1 lap down in the 17th. Philip Van Fleet in the 89, 1 lap down in the 18. Josh Sexton in the 51, 2 laps down, brings home 19th. Jason Powell, I think he had an early wreck or something happened to him in his 18, 2 laps down, finished 20th. And rounding out the field is number 6 of Derek Paulson, 5 laps down, finishing 21st.
Alrighty, so that rounded out our 21 car field. Like you said, Terry, next week, even more cars out here. It's going to be action-packed. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Can't wait to see what that 86 machine has to offer out on track.
So am I. I'm kind of excited to see what it does.
As I am definitely pumped up. Got to give a big shout-out to you, Terry, for coming in the booth, helping out with the announcing, giving all the insider stuff. I love the details about all the drivers and the little insider stuff that just add that extra little bit to it. Got to give a shout out to Mark for putting this on, putting this all together, making it roll good. All the competitors out here at Blazing Pedals. Without those guys, wouldn't be a show to commentate on. Got to give a big shout out to all the YouTube comments in the YouTube comment land. Got a whole bunch of people out there, so appreciate every single one of you guys. Got to thank all the big live viewers out here. Big shout out to all of them and all the replay viewers. I know probably a good bit of the racers will come out and rewatch us, so got to give a shout out to all you guys. And Terry, it's been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for letting me get in here with you, man. I hope I helped you out a little bit. Again, I told you even off the air, if you need help, I'm just a phone call message away, buddy. Just let me know. I'm not racing for big points this season, so I will help you. That's my phone going off. I will help you out the best I can, bud.
All right, well, I appreciate all the help, Terry. Definitely looking forward to a action-packed, exciting season. It's going to be a good one with these tricky Arca cars. But for me and Terry here, we'll wrap it on up. Everyone, have a good rest of your night. Have a safe one. And we'll be back here next week at the Turn 3 Racing Network. So put it on the calendar. And it's going to be back right back here at Daytona. So this has been Brett the Jet. Have a good one, everyone. And just flew by you. Good night.